I really can't say anything about Dance Dance Revolution anymore. This one song was the extreme version that was once nice, but in this haunted copy of the game, it's haunted. The game is called Your Reign. It's from a video game from Silent Hill 4, and it was a DDR exclusive. Because of both those games, they were produced by Konami. But I have to tell you that there was something haunted about this version of Your Reign. It was so disturbing that I had to move out and move into my uncle and aunt's house because it was too disturbing. Here's the story. Hi, my name is Samantha. I am 17 years old and living a good life. But it wasn't until I came across a haunted version of Dance Dance Revolution Extreme that was so creepy. One day it was a cold afternoon and my parents had told me that they were going to buy a Christmas tree because the holidays was almost there. So I was left home alone. I was watching Fantastic Mr. Fox on HBO, or Q, until I heard the mail truck coming. I paused my movie and then went to go see what came in the mail. There was nothing but a few bills and a package for me. Surprisingly, I forgot to tell you that I had snow in my backyard and mail wasn't delivered on snow days. I opened the package and it was a copy of Dance Dance Revolution game. I remembered it. My parents had an old dance mat, so I went down to my attic and snuck it down there, hooked it up to my PlayStation 2, and started the game. When I went through the song list, I had noticed that all the songs were unlocked, and I played each song until the last one. Before I played Your Reign, I noticed that my family had been gone for quite a long time. I started the final song and prepared for this. Excuse my language, but this is when things got scary. When the music video popped up, it just stayed there. I'm just sitting there waiting for 2 minutes. While being patient, I got on my phone and called my dad. And then there was only an answering machine. That wasn't until Dance Dance Revolution announcer spoke out his usual quote before the song started. However, things were a bit off that made me disconnect the dance at the mat at the beginning. The sky was red except for the color gray, like for use in the original. And meanwhile, Cynthia, the woman in the song, was about to sit down while I saw that there were dead bodies on the floor. The lyrics, oh my god, the lyrics were so disturbing in this scary version. I killed your family once. It burned me. I'm still heavy. Never forget. Never again we won't be. I'll make you cry. Those were the lyrics that I could remember. I shut off the PlayStation 2 and smashed the disc into pieces. This was probably why my father didn't answer the phone. I called the police to tell them to investigate if my family was dead. I didn't want to look at the rest of the song because of what happened. The police arrived and they told me that they were gone. I cried after what they said. Later on, I made boxes of what to put my stuff in and moved out for myself. Thankfully, I have a driver's license. The family I moved into was my Uncle Joel and Aunt Teresa with their two kids, Ellen, who is 6, and Cleveland, who is 9. I then told them everything about what happened and they believed me. 2 days later, I was watching the news in TV when the news report came on, claiming that my family was missing and they were on a lookout for a woman named Mary Elizabeth McGillen for the murder. I have had nightmares for 3 weeks. One dream when I was taking a shower when all of a sudden I saw Cynthia. I was screaming like a busting out of my way out. Another one was me telling my class about my essay when I saw everyone turn into those dancers in the music video. I just couldn't take it. I'm now living with my uncle and aunt. I don't ever want to look at Dance Dance Revolution Extreme ever again. Not even the Japanese version. I am staying the hell away from that. Goodbye forever. And that, my little pretties, was Dance Dance Revolution Extreme Your Reign is Haunted. A creepypasta written by Ashley Armbruster. My final thoughts in the story? Well, I remember I narrated this like a long time ago. I think this might have been, I guess, sometime in 2000 and, I guess, 19, I believe. Yeah, 2019. I kind of remember that. And to be honest of this story, I did not really like this story. Now, this is an older story, so there's that. This is an older story, so it could be why it's, the concept, if you heard me read the story, you should probably already know by now. This story, I'm sorry to say this, it just wasn't good. Now, I mean, the story, it's just a little, it just wasn't really that exciting in my opinion. I don't really know what it is, but for some reason, I just didn't really, care for the story. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to hate on the author. Like, the grammar was pretty good along with the sentence structuring. Although in the sentence structuring, there were a couple run-on sentences in the story. So, yeah. And it was a little bit hard for me to read at certain parts. But this story, pardon me, and I apologize, I'm a bit tired. This story just wasn't that great. Like, I'm not trying to sound rude in any way, shape, or form. It just wasn't that great. That's just probably me, though, but I really don't know. This story just didn't really, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. That's the main reason. It just didn't make, a whole lot of sense. Like, I mean, there's like a haunted song and something, and then somebody gets scared over it. It just didn't really make a whole lot of sense. I really just didn't really, care for the story. Like, I mean, the story is not terrible. I'm going to admit this. The story was not bad. It just wasn't that great in my opinion. It just wasn't that great in my opinion. I just don't know what it is, but for some reason I just didn't really find this story to be entertaining. Even when I first narrated this story, I found this story to be quite boring. Like, I'm not saying that to be mean or to be an asshole. No. I'm only saying it because this story was not that great. Like, it's an older story, so I'm willing to, kind of lay off on it. Like, I mean, the story does need, a little bit more excitement to, it. This story just, my opinion, it just didn't really work well with this. I don't know why, but for some reason, I just didn't find this to be good. The story just wasn't that great. Like, I mean, it wasn't bad or anything. It just wasn't really that great. That's all I have to say. Like, I mean, the grammar is all good, and same with the sentence structuring, although there were a few errors in the sentence structuring. And the story was just short. And that's another thing I have to say, was that the story was, of its own self, was just short. Like, there could have been, some things that could have been properly explained or something, but unfortunately this story just didn't really work out well, just to be completely and utterly honest. I'm just sitting there and saying this right now, that this story does need a little bit of, well, I guess some stuff that could have been, better. Like, the story was not terrible, I'm not going to lie, but I found this story to be quite boring, at least to me. I'm not sitting there and saying that to be mean. I'm just sitting there and saying this just right now. The story just needs a little bit of, a polishing up, possibly a rewrite, but who's to say? I'm not sitting there and, being rude or anything, shape or form. I'm just saying, this story just does need a little bit of, well, it needs to be, fixed up. Mainly with some of the errors I did mention, and possibly maybe make this story a little longer, and maybe, just maybe, it would be a little more interesting. But at the same time, this is an old story, so I'm kind of not going too harsh on the person, which is a good thing. I don't want to be harsh on anybody. Like, I mean, the story just wasn't that great, and that's just one of the issues I have with the story, is that the story itself just wasn't that great. It's not perfect, but it's just, okay. I think I kind of already said certain things enough, so I'm gonna kind of sit there and, kind of wrap up the review or something, because, well, yeah. So, I guess with that being the case, and with that, And with that being this said, I'm gonna sit there and said that. So I'm gonna sit there and and say that now. This story was not terrible, although it could have been a little better. But I would have to say, I'm kind of sounding bored. I'm just really tired today. I don't know why. I just woke up feeling like extremely tired. So there's definitely that. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna sit there and wrap up the review. I do apologize if this review is not as great as you guys expected that to be, but at least you get something. Now, anyways, with that being the case, that being said, I'm gonna sit there and wrap up the review. I'm gonna sit here and say this right now, and like always, continue to say, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story, I'm gonna give this one a 3 out of 10. I know that might seem a bit high, but I'm giving it a 3 out of 10 because the grammar was pretty good. The sentence structure was good as well, although there were a couple of spelling errors. The story was a little cliched, and it was just quite boring in my opinion. I didn't really, find this to be interesting. Like, I mean, it's not terrible. Like, I kind of remember reading this back in 2018, and, it's been a while since I last touched this story. So, anyways, I guess with that being the case, that being said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better. Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, so then that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro, because I'm out.